In the Heart of the Word, reflections by Father Joseph Mary, SCTJM, on the daily readings from the Holy Mass. Friday of the 12th week of Ordinary Time, memorial of the first holy martyrs of the Holy Roman Church.
God bless you, dear family. Today in the Heart of the Word, Matthew tells us that Jesus came down the mountain and great crowds followed him. The mountain, as we remember, is the Mount of the Beatitudes, where Jesus proclaimed the new Torah, the new law, of the Messianic kingdom, the kingdom of the Christ. Coming down from the mountain, Jesus immediately encounters a leper. It is difficult for us to imagine the shocking power of this encounter. According to the Torah, leprosy was the only illness for which a priest could not offer sacrifice to pray for the healing of the person. Rather, a leper was simply exiled from the community. There was no cure. Their home was put on quarantine with a large sign that said unclean. If a leper encountered anyone on the street, they were obliged to cry out as a warning, "Unclean, unclean." The leper was forbidden from entering the synagogue, the temple, and even the holy city of Jerusalem. If someone accidentally touched a leper, the person was immediately pronounced unclean and was also exiled. To touch a leper meant that you became a leper. The leper was to be amongst the living dead. Now we can imagine this moment in the gospel. The leper approaches Jesus, and with great faith he says, "Lord, if you will it, you can make me clean." While the crowd was running away, Jesus remains firmly with the leper, and he tells him, "I do will it. Be made clean." And at that moment, when everyone is watching from a distance, Jesus places his hand on the leper. And what happens? Jesus is not made unclean by the leper. The love of Jesus is so pure and so powerful that he cannot be made unclean by anyone. Instead, what he touches, he makes clean. What was impossible for the Torah, the priest, or the sacrifices in the temple, Jesus has done. And everyone knows that only God can do that. The leper is the first one to call Jesus Lord in the Gospel of Matthew. He's also the first healing in the public ministry of Jesus after the Sermon on the Mount. Why? Because leprosy was a sign of the total brokenness, the hopelessness, and the sin of humanity. If Jesus can heal the leper, then he can heal anyone. That includes you, and it includes me. Alleluia. Let us listen to these words of Mother Adela. The love of Jesus is redemptive. It frees us from the snares of the devil, sin, and death. It is a love that is not content with leaving us in our misery, but desires to elevate us to the dignity of being sons and daughters of God and living as such. All for the heart of Jesus, through the heart of Mary.